It is Monday, February 24th, 2025. This is another offseason edition of Baseball Today. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, and intern Sawyer along for the ride as well. Do you need to cough? Are you okay?
I'm still under the weather, Chris. But like I said before the show, are you hurt or are you injured? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm playing through. I'm hurt a little bit, but I'm okay. This is what we do. I like to talk baseball with you guys. I'm excited. Welcome Sawyer to the show.
Yes, Sawyer.
What's up,
welcome.
bro? It's gonna help us out a lot. But yeah, I feel okay. I'm good enough, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm great. We missed you on Friday. Jolly Olive came in with 20 minutes to spare. What a superstar he is. Whatever they're paying him, it's not enough at this company. As long as it doesn't come out of our two paychecks, whatever it is, it's not enough.
I say that about my stuff, my paycheck all the time. Need more.
All right, let's get it going. Tip of the cap turn because we got something wild that happened over the weekend. A-Rod was speaking at Bucknell University, so they pull him to hit a half-court shot, and yes, he nails it and wins a kid $10,000. So Uber Tan A-Rod, look at him celebrating. He's like, I'm so happy that I could get you $10,000. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but let's do it together. Maybe let's have dinner together. Something like that.
Do you think he said I'll match the $10,000? Because that's what he needs to do. This guy's cleaning up his image like crazy. Everywhere we go, we're seeing A-Rod right now. Hey, man, just a little PR advice. Double it, okay? You find that in your Bentley's whatever, glove compartment. I don't love this.
What do you mean you don't love it?
It's making him likable. And I'm supposed to I don't know, man. I mean, A-Rod and I have a contentious relationship. He doesn't know anything about it. He doesn't even probably know who I am. But I struggle with A-Rod because I really looked up to him as a youngster. I loved watching him play.
Right.
Loved it. He was I wanted my swing to be like his. I wore white batting gloves on the road because A-Rod did it. And then, all this stuff came out with the steroids, and it just kind of I have a weird relationship in my own head with A-Rod. That's all.
I think that's fair. Listen, I saw the beginning of his career. I don't know if you're too young to remember when he first started out. He was something that we had never seen before at that position. At shortstop, he could run. He was winning batting titles. He was mashing in Seattle. He helped put Mariners baseball back on the map along with Ken Griffey Jr. and Randy Johnson and the entire team up there. And he was something different. And you're right, because he loved baseball. There's some guys who love just being superstars in whatever sport they are and everything that comes along with it. And there's no doubt that A-Rod likes that part of it too and digs it, but he loves ball. And it did hurt when he was doing that. It was just it's one of the odder yet enjoyable careers I think we've ever seen.
It's had some peaks and valleys. There's no doubt about it. I think playing in New York was crazy for him. The fact that he ended up in New York is just made for TV. Right. But now he's back. He's everyone's favorite. He's on all the big broadcasts for baseball. He's almost one of the faces of baseball after going through a time where he was almost shunned. I don't know, man. I struggle with it, but again, A-Rod, if you don't match that 10,000, bro. I might call him match it just to make him look better.
Oh, you will. You will not be doing that. I'll guarantee that. Don't put that out there and then not do it. I'm telling you.
No, I'm challenging A-Rod.
That's good. Let's do that. All right, let's get to some superstars of today that have joined new teams. And boy, what an impression the two biggest guys that made a move as far as position players this offseason in free agency left with their new fan bases.
2-1 pitch to Bregman. Rips that one high to left field, up towards the wall and over everything. Welcome to Boston, Alex Bregman.
And there's that swing. He
drives this one out to left center. Leon back to the warning track at the wall. It's out of here. And Juan Soto has homered in his first spring training at bat as a New York Met.
So pretty good weekends for those guys. Bregman went 3 for 3 with a bomb in his debut, and Soto homered in his first at bat. With Soto, I don't know if we've talked about this since he signed what will end up being most likely an $800 million deal as long as he exercises all sorts of stuff contractually. Do the Mets have to win multiple rings in order for this contract to make sense?
people are probably not going to like what I have to say about this. I don't think so. Like, it's not up to Juan Soto to bring a World Series title. He's going to do everything he can. If he goes out, Chris, and gives the Mets, I don't know, let's just call it, how many years is the deal? It's like 15.
15.
If he gives them 10 very productive Juan Soto-esque years and they don't win the World Series, it's not his fault. Like, it wouldn't be his fault. Baseball's not one of those sports where one guy can just bring you a championship, man. It is not that way. We've seen it in many different instances. Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Trout. Like, there are guys that just go off and do their job, and they can't. It won't bring them a World Series. Juan Soto alone will not bring them a World Series. Okay, he might have a big impact on one. He might have the game-winning hit. All these different things, but like, it's not a singular person sport. So, like, I know New York people would say absolutely that he's got to bring us one, but like, there's only so much a hitter can do, especially a guy like him who's like really, not going to bring a lot defensively. Like, he's just going to mash. If he mashes and they don't win a World Series, it's not going to be Juan Soto's fault. Unless, like, here's the thing. Here's what will make a big difference, Chris. If he goes away in the postseason, that's when it'll matter. If he performs in the postseason and they still don't win, like, you can't put that on Juan Soto. So, in my opinion, no. Like, the deal is for him to be Juan Soto. And if he is that, that's all he can do.
Do you know how many World Series titles they've won?
1?
2. The Miracle Mets of 69 and 1986, where they came back against.
I remember the 86. I didn't know the other one. Okay.
Well, you don't remember 86. You weren't, but you know of 86.
I was born, actually, Chris. June 15th, 1986.
You were a couple months old. That's right. You were a couple months old. So if you remember that, tip of the cap to you, my friend. This is always a tough one for me, because when guys sign monumental, enormous contracts, that's all we look at as fans. And so, well, you have to win multiple rings. Like when Barry Zito signed that huge deal to go to San Francisco, he was a joke. He had a couple decent years early on, it felt like, but then he lost his way and was horrible. I don't even think he was on the World Series roster when they won their first ring in San Francisco as the Giants in 2010. But then in 2012, he pitched a huge game. I want to say it was Game 5 on the road in St. Louis when they were down 3-1 against the Cardinals and got the series back to San Francisco these last 2 games. And then they ended up sweeping the Tigers in 2012 and winning that. And that's like the crowning moment from his stay in San Francisco. But I think if you were to ask Giants fans what they remember about Barry Zito's 7-year stay there, they would probably all say that we paid him over $100 million and he didn't do much. So, and he won to help them win a ring. So I do think that if you were to ask most Mets fans, the minimum is a ring over 15 years. 2, it might even be the more likely answer. Like, what do you need to see? If we were to put out a questionnaire, I think multiple rings might win.
That's more of an organizational thing than a Juan Soto thing, though. That's kind of my point. Like, yeah, like, I understand what they're saying. Like, he's changed. Him signing there changed the trajectory of that franchise.
I think
for
so.
Like maybe for good. If he didn't sign there, will they still have a good team? Sure, they were 1 series away from going to the World Series last year, but he's now made it where, like, man, like, Yankees probably still have the upper hand as far as like being big brother in New York, but it's a lot closer than it's ever been because Juan Soto signed there. You're right about Barry Zito, by the way. October 19th against St. Louis, 7 2/3, 6 innings pitched, no runs, and then he did it in the World Series Game 1 against the Tigers, 5 2/3, 1 earned run against them.
Yeah,
so go Zito, go.
Yeah. Do you think that Juan Soto will be judged now like a quarterback is in the NFL? Meaning you can go win your MVPs, Lamar and Josh Allen, but if you ain't winning it, then there will always be that little – now, he's won a ring, right, with Washington as a 19-year-old, so he's got that on his resume, but not since he grew up and became the $800 million man.
I think he will be judged by that, but I don't think it's the same thing. It's not like football. A quarterback can come in and change everything for your team as far as like on-field performance. It's just baseball's not that way. Is he going to be judged that same way? Yes. Do I think it's fair? No.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you, but I do think that the fan bases, you know what? Let us know. Let us know in the comments what you think, whether you're a Mets fan or not. I mean, if you're just a baseball fan, you're going to have an opinion on it either way. So let us know in the comments section. One other Mets note, Sean Manaea dealing with an oblique injury. It looks like he will not be with the roster on opening day, which stinks for him. Those are one of those things you got to get taken care of early. It always happens to a handful of pitchers, particularly in spring training when they're, not doing this sort of regimen. So hang in there, dude. Be all right. Let's move on to Elly De La Cruz. What a nice weekend he had. A great debut. He had a couple at bats against my Cleveland Guardians, and they both ended up the same way.
Elly De La Cruz mashes another one. Deep center field. Lane Thomas is out of room. It's out of here. And we've got a brand new ball game. 2-2. Elly De La Cruz with 2 solo homers for Cincinnati.
One from each side of the plate.
You got that, Rick Manning. Both sides of the plate. He hammered one off of Tristan McKenzie in the first inning, and then Logan Allen again later on in the game. He's fantastic. He's great for the league. We know all that. By the end of the year, will he be a top 3 shortstop in the sport?
My gut instinct is yes, and I know why you picked top 3 because that's the tier. I think there are 4 shortstops on the top tier, but you're asking me if he's going to be better than Bobby Witt, Gunnar Henderson, and Francisco Lindor. Like those.
You know who you left out?
Corey Seager.
And Mookie Betts.
I keep forgetting Mookie's a shortstop. I'm not going to add him in this. Can I not add him in this?
No, you have to. He is the starting shortstop of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Okay, so last year, here's the numbers. Bobby Witt by far, 10.4 WAR. Then it went Gunnar at 8, Francisco Lindor at 7.8, and then Elly at 6.4. Everybody else was below 5. The reason I'll say yes to that, I think he will end up being a top 3 shortstop of the league over Mookie, maybe over Frankie, is he doesn't have like a flaw in his game. Like he can run. He's going to get value and with his legs. Guy stole 67 freaking bags last year. Okay. Value in his legs. He can hit and he can play defense. He's getting value in all 3 places. And I think the only downside to him is the fact that he swings and misses a little bit too much. The strike zone recognition isn't necessarily there. That's going to get better every single season this guy plays in the big leagues. I think if he makes just like a minimal jump in that category, we're talking he might be like, if he has he could be the best shortstop in the game. Like he has that potential, Chris. Like I love Bobby Witt and I can say the same things that I say about Elly as Bobby. Like he's getting value all over the place. But I don't think you can say like Mookie's not going to swipe that many bags. Like he's not going to get that much with his legs. Like he's not going to get base running value a ton. I also don't think he's as good defensively. Like the range isn't going to be there the way it is with Elly. Like he's going to be incredible. He's going to get a lot of his value from his offense. But the fact that Elly can do all these 3 things and do them at such a high level, I think he will end up being a top 3 shortstop, especially if we're talking about WAR.
So his OPS from his rookie year to his sophomore season jumped 100 points. That's an enormous number. Is it going to jump into the 900s this year? I don't.
If he has better plate recognition, it could.
That's a tough one because he led the league with 218 strikeouts last year. That's in less than 620 plate appearances. Now he played virtually every game, and so the counting WAR, when you're talking about a shortstop, that number can go up astronomically as long as you have a ton of games under your belt, right? So if you're looking at WAR, Elly, and depending on which WAR you'd like to use, you mentioned Bobby Witt, Gunnar Henderson, Francisco Lindor. Those guys were all in the top 8 last season. Then Elly is the next shortstop. Right after him is Corey Seager, who played in 37 fewer games than Elly De La Cruz, and his WAR wasn't that much less than Elly's. Right behind him was Mookie Betts, and he played in 44 fewer games. Like that stuff is, as long as those guys are okay, I think Elly's going to have a tough time jumping them at this point of his career. I think that by year 5, he will have that pitch recognition better so that he's striking out maybe 100, maybe once per game instead of 1.5 times per game. And I just don't think he's there quite yet. I think having Terry Francona there and that coaching staff will help him, but I don't know if he can make that monumental a leap again from year 2 to 3 that he did from year 1 to 2. So I think he's going to be close, but I would say top 5 or 6, which in this era, we didn't even mention Trey Turner, by the way.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. There's a lot of great shortstops. I don't want to I don't want to feel like I'm talking crap about Mookie Betts or Corey Seager. I'm just saying that right now, Elly is probably, it's him and Bobby for toolsiest players in the game. And so here's what I like, Chris. First year in the league, 2023, 21 years old. Strikeout percentage 33.7. Last year 31.3. Walk percentage first year 8.2%. Last year 9.9%. So the walk percentage actually got above league average, and the strikeout percentage went the right way. So if we keep making those adjustments, get to 11% walk, get to 28, 27% K, like his numbers then will go up. He was a 300 on base percentage guy his first year, 340 his second year. Like, get that to 360, get that to 370, and then all of a sudden we're talking about he might be the best player in the game at some point. Like, if he makes these adjustments, he has the chance. Like, he has the tools to be it. That's why I say yes, he could be a top 3 guy.
Well, he could. I just don't think by the end of the year. And that's not – I hate it when people are like, well, you don't think he's that. I just mentioned 5 or 6 shortstops that are awesome. You could make Hall of Fame cases for a couple of them already. So I hate it when people do this. It's like the whole LeBron Jordan discussion. It drives me nuts. If you think that somebody's the second best ever in their industry at something, it's not like you said, well, LeBron sucks or Jordan sucks. No, you just say you'd like one over the other. That's what I'm saying about this shortstop position. But we're going to hear from you on this one. This is a good one. Yeah. I like it. Dude, leave us comments. Rank the shortstops right now, like 1 through 6, because there's a pretty clear line, I think, between 6 and 7, although maybe I could be convinced elsewhere with that one. All right, it's time to take your nutrition to an entirely new level. That's why I want to talk to you about today's sponsor, Huel. It is spelled Huel, the global complete nutritional brand, over 400 million meals sold. Their Black Edition, ready to drink. It is a total game changer, a complete meal in a bottle. It's high in protein. It's low in sugar. It's packed with all the nutrients that your body needs to feel and perform at its best. I'm always on the move. I was gone 15 of 16 days earlier this month. As you can tell, I don't always have time to whip up a balanced meal, and that's where Huel comes in handy. Huel, it is convenient. It tastes so good. Their shakes actually taste kind of like milkshakes. They come in chocolate or vanilla. So join the community of Hooligans with this exclusive offer for our new customers. That's 15% off, plus a free gift with the code today at Huel.com. That is 15% plus a free gift for new customers with the code today at Huel.com. Unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Huel. Nutritionally complete meals in minutes so you can focus on what really matters. See description for terms and conditions. All right, we continue on. It was good to see a couple of returns this weekend, particularly on the mound when you're talking about injuries. I thought seeing Dustin May, and we could talk about him for just a second before we get to the next one. He went out there for the first time since that esophageal surgery that he had, which we have found out more about. That thing nearly cost him his life, is what it sounded like. And you could see how emotional he was in his return, putting a cap over his face. I was there for his first bullpen. The entire team came out to watch him because they know how much of a grind this has been. It's one thing to come back from 2 major arm surgeries like he has had, I believe a second Tommy John in a short span, but then to deal with something that he dealt with, which was bizarre. I had never heard of this. For him to just get back out there, I thought was probably therapeutic, if nothing else, right?
No, it's amazing. I've talked about on the show many times, like I am a pretty mentally strong guy. I don't struggle with mental health. But when I was injured, that's when I would have trouble with it. It's really hard to be a guy that wants to be out there playing, be with your team, and just not be able to do that. 2 long recoveries from arm surgeries, and then this is what another surgery you're talking about. Just not being able to do what you love and what
Mhm.
you're good at, and like we want to provide and do all these things, it could get you to a dark place. So I think that's why you see the emotion. Like he's like, I'm back. Like this is what I'm meant to do. I thought that was the emotion that he showed yesterday was really cool.
And in the meantime, across the country, down in Florida, the Marlins welcome back their former Cy Young Award winner, Sandy Alcantara. He looked nasty against the Mets, was cranking it up all over the place. Here he is afterward.
A little nervous, but after the first pitch, I'll forget about everything.
When's the last time you were nervous?
I don't know, maybe a couple years ago, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, I don't know. So, but today was a little bit nervous, like you say, because I've been out for a long time, and coming back from TJ, and, so everything happened, so today feels great about it.
I think because he wasn't a part of that team, and we don't really talk about the Marlins a ton, you forget how damn good he was, particularly in 22 when he won the Cy Young. He had 6 complete games. He led baseball with almost 230 innings pitched and 886 batters faced. And he's not even 30 years old yet, dude. He's filthy.
No, he's absolutely filthy. I don't forget how good he was. I love the fact that you mentioned the innings pitched. If a lot of guys can go on a run and put up numbers like he put up, but to do it a full season, 228 and 2/3, that's a rarity in today's game. I love watching this guy pitch, and it's just another one. You know what he went through to get back to where he's back to get back to this, and he looks great. Like the velo's there, and it makes me happy.
Yeah, he hit 99 3 times in that game, which ain't bad right out of the gate. The bigger question is, this is a team. I went and looked at their projected lineup. Dude, it looks like a B spring training game at times. It is rough. So I guess the question is, the minute he proves that he's healthy for a couple months this year, don't they have to ship him out of town?
In my opinion, yes. The contract is so appetizing for teams. 17.3, 17.3, then a team option in 2027 for 21. We've seen 4 starters get $15 million a year. Okay. Sandy is not a 4 starter. He is an ace, a bona fide freaking ace. And so if you're the Marlins, could you wait until teams get a little bit more desperate around the deadline? Sure. That's probably when you would maximize his value, but you're playing a little bit of, you're playing a little bit of a dangerous game because, say he comes out with, it might not even be elbow related. It might be an oblique, or it might be something different. He's shown that he's healthy. If he gets through a couple more spring training starts, I would immediately try to move him. Not that they don't want him on the team, but this is what they're doing. They're rebuilding. This guy, I think right now, might demand the biggest haul in baseball. I think he demands much more of a haul than trading for Vladdy. It's this guy. The years of control, the type of pitcher they know he can be. I think that they'd be very smart to move him as soon as possible.
You know who's also making $17 million this year as a pitcher? Frankie Montas.
Yeah, like Alex Cobb, right? Isn't he making 15 and
something like that? Yeah, I mean, and those guys, good for them. Like that's what the market dictated, and I'm happy for them. I would never begrudge a player for making what he makes, but the point is that this is a dude. Now, how long? Look at it from the other side. If you feel like you're a pitcher short, heck, if you're the Mets, the team that faced him over the weekend, I mean, you don't think you could put him right at the top of the rotation? How much do you need to see from him? Or are a couple of spring training outings good enough to say, let's pull the trigger on this deal?
I don't need to see anything. Like the data's there, Chris. Give me one more spring training start. I don't even think you need another one. You just saw him light the gun up at 99. Like, it's worth it to take the chance on a guy like that.
I think it's
and
amazing.
Then St. Louis Cardinals fans, I know you've had a tough one. Zach Gallen, Sandy,
a
couple other guys for Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah. Who's now hitting homers in Atlanta.
They've had some tough trades, the Cardinals have.
The only reason I would like to see Sandy start the season with the Marlins is because they face the Pirates on opening day, and I wouldn't mind seeing Sandy versus Skeens on March 27th. Other than that, I'd say have them for the opener. Let's pack the stadium for those two. Call it a day. Sandy, you're out.
Hey, Cubs, go get him. Pitch him in Japan. How about that?
Well, they already got Shota doing one of those games, which is great.
There's a lot of teams that would go after Sandy.
I agree.
A lot of teams.
I will say this about the Marlins. The pitching staff, what you've got lined up with the pitching is not horrific, okay? If you keep Sandy, it's Sandy, Ryan Weathers, who seems to have found something down there. Edward Cabrera, they just signed Cal Quantrill, who at least eat innings and give you good effort. Max Meyer, we'll see. He's some good, some not so good. Yuri Perez is due back mid-season. He's obviously going to be the guy who would be the heir apparent to Sandy. I did based on a projected starting lineup of what we could see against Skeens. What do you think the combined WAR last season of the starting lineup against Skeens could be?
You're talking about 9 kids.
9 kids. Just add up all their WAR from last season. What do you think it was?
I think I'm being generous with like 7.
You overshot the runway.
I think I knew it.
5-8.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's not those kids' fault.
No, hell not. Go, you know what? Go make the most of your opportunity. And make your goal this year should make it that we talk about you sometime other than when you trade one of your players. That should be your goal this year. Make Baseball Today talk about you when it comes to good baseball. Got me?
Yes.
That's it. Padres and A's, they tangoed over the weekend. And it was really something interesting that we heard on the Padres broadcast. It's Jesse Agler and Tony Gwynn Jr. They were talking about the fact that the A's will strictly be known as the Athletics or the A's and not the Sacramento A's or Athletics.
It feels weirdly disrespectful to me.
It feels extremely disrespectful.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I think it's odd to not associate a team with their geographic home.
So we've known this since November. They came out and they said, when we're doing this, the branding will all be about the nickname and there will be no city affiliated with them, even though they're going to be there at least 3 years, it sounds like. And it was the first time I heard it discussed by an opposing outlet. Is this a big deal or not?
I don't think it's a big deal. Like Tony Gwynn Jr., who I love both those guys, got to talk with him a lot last year. The fact that he is so adamant about it is making me rethink, like, why don't I think it's that big of a deal? That's kind of where my head's at. But I almost understand it from the A's standpoint. It's like, okay, you already are taking this team from Oakland and moving it. You don't want to have that extra, like, name, the moniker in your team's history. I think that's why they're doing it. It has a lot to do with merchandise. It has a lot to do with, I just think they don't want it to be seen like they've moved multiple times. I know they have. In my mind, it's not that big of a deal. But I don't think the city of Sacramento is like feels disrespected. I don't think so. Am I way off base here?
It's a good question. I have to ask. You know who I'm going to ask? I'm going to ask Logan Webb about this. He grew up outside of Sacramento. I think his family were all A's fans. So we've discussed playing against the A's and the emotional attachment that he had whenever he would go to the Coliseum and pitch against them and things of that nature. So I am curious where he kind of sits on this whole thing. It does feel a little bit like a slap in the face. Why can't we call them like the Sacktown A's?
The merch would be fire. Like I'm in for like some off-brand Sacramento A's merch. I think it would be awesome and be like,
right.
Like when we look back 50 years from now, I'm like, oh yeah, they played in Sacramento for 3 years. Don't you remember that?
Right.
I'll be there though. Hey, A's fans in Sacramento, I am doing the games. Beginning of June, the Twins are in Oakland, and not in Oakland, sorry, in Sacramento, and I'll be there.
This is going to be fascinating. I hope you don't get any day games, brother. That place is going to be steamy.
I know, and it's turf.
And
I will be in the air conditioning. Chris.
Wait, they didn't change the turf?
No, they're turfing the entire thing. That's the whole the whole process because they're playing like 150 games because the River Cats are still playing there as well.
Yeah.
So they had to turf it so that maintains the integrity of the field. So, dude, I have artificial turf in my backyard. When it gets hot here, I have to put the sprinklers on just to be able to walk on the dang thing.
Yeah. Well, you're probably one of those guys that walks without shoes on it.
I can't. I literally cannot walk barefoot on my artificial turf during the summertime.
Yeah.
Unless I put the sprinklers on. It is incredibly hot.
For those of you that want to go down a rabbit hole, go look up the mid-'80s St. Louis Cardinals.
Yes.
It used to be so hot in St. Louis on that turf, and they constructed a team that could run. We're talking about Vince Coleman, Ozzie Smith, Willie McGee. All these dudes could run, and they would hit the ball. And Busch Stadium back then, huge alleys. They'd lead the league in triples and in stolen bases. And you could see the heat coming off the turf. Like that was the famous NBC Saturday baseball shot. You could see Steve.
Didn't they just throw ice all in the bottom of the dugout too, just so you guys could put their cleats on the ice to stop them from melting? It's Sacramento gets hot.
Yeah. Okay, it'll be interesting. Last thing, it's the reason I'm wearing a Phillies cap today. Got the fanatic on this bad boy. Bryce Harper has made the ultimate commitment to the team and the city. Offseason,
wow.
He got the fanatic tattooed on his arm. The tattoo artist said, I don't know how I was fortunate enough to have him pick me. I think it happened in Salt Lake, if I'm read correctly. But he got the fanatic on his little mobile on his arm. Thumbs up or, dude, what are you doing?
Thumbs up, dude. You know how much money they paid this guy like to represent their franchise? No matter what happens, he's like, I love the Phillies, baby. They made me very, very rich. And like they have a great relationship, and it's a cool logo. And I'm assuming eventually he's going to cover the rest of his arm. That's what I'm thinking.
Got it.
So
okay.
It'll just kind of blend in there with everything else. But I like it, man. I like the fanatic. Sometimes we get a little bit annoying to me. Him and Astro or Orbit, whatever the guy
Orbit,
is. Yeah, Orbit. Yeah, those two guys. A little too much for my liking, but I respect it. I respect it from Bryce.
Yeah, I love Orbit. I think Orbit's hilarious. I love the fanatic. See, I'm a mascot guy. Some people are not mascot people.
I'm not a mascot guy.
I know. Well, most people who played the game are not.
Shout out TC Bear.
That dude can rake, by the way. I was there.
Well, no, he used to be able to rake.
Oh, they changed. But right back in the day.
Oh, yeah, you could hit.
He was out there hitting softballs one day in the upper deck. I was like, what? Who is Ken Herbeck in there? He's lefty swing, nailing it. Yeah, with the Bryce, I'm kind of listen. I don't have any tattoos. Both of our sons have tattoos, multiple tattoos. So I'm not against. I don't want this to come out as a anti-tattoo thing. I think it's beautiful. I think when you make a commitment, and I know that he's got a no trade clause. But damn, what happens if he finishes his career back in Washington where it all stuck? And he's got a big Fanatics tattoo on his arm.
He'll put a Nationals tattoo right next to it. It's just like a story of his life. Like, I don't mind this at all. I think Bryce has actually really figured out like social media and how to like make people like kind of like talk about Bryce Harper. Not that he needs that, but like, you know, all the TikToks and the bread making and the like he's doing it. I like it. Good for you, Bryce.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. All right. That'll do it for today, man. I love it. We're going to get back days a week shortly. We need 5 days a week, and it's going to be coming very, very soon because we're about to hit March. We're almost there, and I cannot wait.
Me neither.
Yeah. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our super intern, Sawyer, our uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you later this week on Baseball Today.